All right, hello friends, and thank you for tuning in to Perry Live with Ron Drake. So Perry Live with Ron Drake is just a 30-minute or so show here on the Penn Network to just talk about what's happening in downtown Perry and really the community of Perry as a whole. And so each week I'm bringing in a different guest, and we're just going to get to know them and talk about life and work and maybe how all that relates to Perry and to downtown Perry. And I'm a downtown consultant, hired here to work in Perry, and so we're going to talk primarily about downtown. But enough about me. I am super excited to introduce my guest today, Noelle Black. Noelle is with the Chamber of Commerce. I'm so glad that you are here.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry, I admit, I kind of asked you last minute.
You did.
Like 2 days ago, or was it yesterday?
It was yesterday.
Yeah. Well, you know, the holidays and whatever, and all of a sudden, I'm realizing...
I penciled you in. Yes.
You blocked out everything else you had going.
I did. Cleared the calendar.
Cleared the calendar, so I appreciate that.
You're very welcome.
So you doing well?
I'm doing well.
Good. So I know you a little bit. We've got to know each other a little. We've got I've come in your office, and we have some brainstorming kind of stuff about what's happening downtown. But, you know, I'd kind of like to know, and maybe the viewers would know, because you've told me that you're an outsider, right?
I am.
You don't have a PhD.
I don't.
Perry High School diploma.
I don't. I am not a Perryan.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Why are you in Perry? And then, tell me what you do with the chamber and why. Okay.
Yeah. I am currently the CEO president of the Chamber of Commerce.
Right.
And when I started, I came in as an administrative assistant.
Okay.
I worked under Brett Powers, and I was really not looking for a chamber job at all. I didn't think I would like it. I put off my interview several times.
Okay.
And I ended up coming in, and I can remember telling my husband, I am not taking this job. I'm just going to tell him thank you, but I am not interested. And I left calling saying, oh my gosh, I'm going to love this job.
Yeah.
I love Perry, and I want to be involved.
Okay.
And so I served as administrative assistant for a little over a year. And then I took an opportunity for the Ponca City Chamber and did tourism development.
In between, so you worked here, and then you did Ponca City for a little bit.
And then I went to Ponca City for a year.
Okay.
And I was pregnant with my daughter, and my son was just getting into school, and I realized that I kind of wanted a smaller town to raise my family in.
Yeah.
And so I came back, and I studied the chamber for, our goal was 3 years, and I would take over as CEO president.
Okay.
And so that happened March 1st.
So you worked for a little while, took a break, went to Ponca for a little while, then you worked here for 3 years.
Yes.
And now
I'm here.
And now you're here for been like another year as taking it over. Is that right? You've been there about a year. So yeah, I mean, 4 or 5 years. You've been here a while. You know what Perry's all about. And so you're loving the job with the chamber.
I do. Perry has been very welcoming and warm to me and my family. My son goes to school here, and my daughter attends daycare with Stephanie Triner.
Yeah.
And we love it. We love being in Perry.
How old are your kids?
I have an 8-year-old and a 3-year-old.
Okay. So you still got a ways to go.
Yes.
Yeah. Mine are like grown up now. So it gives me the time.
You are old.
I am old, right? The gray. Thank you for pointing that out. That's a part of the reason why I probably won't have you back on the show again. The gray. You don't have to say anything. The gray hair and my beard gives that away. So I've started to ask. This is the second time in a row. Guests to come up with a Perry fun fact. And so, because I'm learning about Perry, and I've learned there's a lot of interesting things about Perry and great history, tradition, but there's also some really just intriguing fun facts about Perry. So what can you tell me?
I can tell you that Perry has a camel farm. And yes, not very many people know that. Even people that have lived there their whole lives are still shocked to hear that we have a camel farm.
And so what do they do with these camels?
So Ralph and Winona Paso, they have camels out there, and they've had them since the late 1990s, and they have had anywhere from 20 to 52 camels.
20 to 52.
Two, yes. And they are currently expecting 9 babies next month.
Oh my gosh.
And I have personally gone out and fed
I was gonna ask
a
you
baby
that.
camel.
Wow.
Yes, with a bottle.
Is a baby camel's fur super soft?
It is. It is, and you feed it with a baby bottle. It is the cutest thing. I also kissed it. And
Do
it
you
was
only have
so
to-
cute.
Do you only have to give a camel milk like once every 3 days because they don't drink water that often?
Sure.
I mean, that's what I heard about camels in the
Yeah.
desert. Is that
We fed it about
they
18
go-
bottles of milk, so it probably
It's a
lasted
big. It was
for
a big
while.
baby.
It was a big baby.
Huh.
It was. But they also have donkeys,
Okay.
llamas, alpaca,
Al-
and mini horses.
And where is this farm located? Like,
It's about 3 miles outside of Perry.
huh?
And you can go out there. Ralph and Winona are very welcoming. They will bring you in and let you feed the baby and see the babies, and it's a great time. It's a really great tourism attraction for Perry.
Well, I think that's a great Perry fun fact. Why? I wonder why they're not using the camels should be in the parades.
The camels should be in the parade.
Both parades.
I should
really.
work
The
on
Christmas
that.
parade. The Christmas parade.
We could put
For
lights on them.
totally. Well, and they could. It just seems like the 3 wise men would be.
Oh,
How do you put lights on a
Yes.
camel?
I think it would work. They have reins. I feel like it
That
could.
would be good. Anyway, the 3 wise men are going to be on camels next year in the Christmas parade. Look for it.
Yes,
16th celebration. You should have all 52 of them.
we're working on it.
Okay.
They have 20 currently. They've
Okay.
had up to 52.
All right, but with all the babies coming,
We'll
we're gonna
work
have
on
some.
that.
We're gonna have some camel. We're gonna have some camel. That's great. See, I love this. I love learning some things about Perry. So, word on the street is you have a couple of questions for me before I dive into my
I
questions.
do have
for
a couple
you.
questions for you.
All right, let's. I'm kind of a little bit nervous about based upon. You can ask me how old I am. What's that?
No, no, that was it. But I may add that to my list.
Okay.
First question is, how did you get involved with Main Street and revitalization of downtowns?
Do you mean just in general or
Yes.
Perry Main Street?
Just in general.
Well, in my community of Silent Springs, Arkansas, which I've mentioned before, we're just about 2.5 hours right on Highway 412, 2.5 hours away in Arkansas, the first town you run into. I was restoring neighborhoods and homes, flipping houses. Basically, we were kind of doing it before. That was actually a term in the early 2000s. And then I'm doing about 45 of them in our town, and
Wow.
specializing in the historic kind of communities. And I know you know all this stuff because it's in my book, and I'm sure you've read it 2 or 3
I have
times.
read your book. I know. That's why I picked these questions. I knew you would know exactly.
And so then we made the move into the downtown core. People were like asking us to come downtown, and it was a huge challenge then, 10 years ago, as it is today, trying to even borrow money to come downtown. But at the same time as I was doing this, there was a Main Street organization in our town, and it was, it was not very respected. And so I got involved, and then I started recruiting these people and all these things, and learned about Main Street. Didn't know anything about it when I started buying buildings, and now I've been fortunate that I speak at national Main Street conferences. I spoke in Pittsburgh last year. I'll be speaking in Kansas City this year at the National Main Street Conference. So I'm pretty connected with the National Main Street, the State Main Street. I do a lot of trainings all throughout the state, and that's part of how I kind of got connected here in Perry. Is Kayla, the Main Street director, had heard about me or heard me speak or something like that, and asked me to come. So there's more to the story, but that's kind of the gist of it. I was doing things in my town, and so therefore, in order to make it succeed, I had to, learn about Main Street, and I'm really proud of Silent Springs Main Street. They've taken it far greater than anything we did, and it's one of the best. It's number 4 best Main Street in America.
Oh, that's fantastic. What a great goal for us to work towards.
There you go, beat it. You got 3, 2, and 1 ahead of us. I'd
We
love
can
to
do
see.
that.
I'd love to see Perry Main Street
We can do that.
do that.
Okay, my second question is, what was it about Perry that really led you to take on this project and come in and consult to help revitalize our downtown?
Besides the chamber,
Besides the chamber. I know we were up there.
there's a big part of what I do. It's really just, and maybe this gets me in trouble sometimes, but it's just my gut. There was just something about this town that I could just feel it, and maybe it was I could feel the hunger or the hope. I don't know. You know, it might have had something to do. With Walmart closing or announcing
right
they're
before
closing.
your first
Yeah.
consulting, it was closed down.
That's right. And so there's a lot of people all panicking and all these things. And so I think maybe that was part of it. There's no doubt I have to give kudos to Kayla Schrum with Main Street of Perry. I mean, she helped facilitate meetings. It was one of my best consultations anywhere. So, I mean, I always tell people that. And she's actually helped raise the bar for when I go to other towns. Like, how did you do that? Because we want to do that when I go to other towns. And but then it's made some connections with Ditch Witch and Charles Machine Works, and thinking, why are you guys sending 300 people a year, or 300 nights, more than 300 people?
Yes.
It's probably thousands or 1,000. It's a lot of people.
There are
Whatever.
a lot of people that go.
Why are you sending them to all these other towns? Well, we know why, because there's not that entertainment place downtown.
Right.
Or even in Perry. So to me, I was like, okay, this will work if we just give it an effort. So there's a couple of reasons, but those are probably kind of the top reasons.
Great. And what is your best and worst part about your job?
This is one of the best parts about my job, getting to do fun things like this, and the social media, and the Facebook Lives. You know, I did a Facebook Live at the Folk Art Building, and I don't know, we got something like 7,000 views and all these great comments, and that's a lot of fun. And of course, when we get into actual restoration, restoring buildings, getting into the construction part, helping people buy buildings, and all of that is super fun. You know, the worst part is there is no doubt when I come into a community that's been maybe, I don't know, stagnant for a long time, that there's some reasons behind that. And so digging into those reasons, having to have tough conversations with maybe the current Main Street board, because obviously if the downtown is not vibrant, the Main Street is not vibrant, and trying to figure out what those problems are, and interviewing people and hearing the history, and you know, and so having to maybe help restructure things. You know, change is hard, no matter what.
Yes, change is very hard.
Change is difficult, and so, and restructuring, it's just like going to the gym for the first time after 10 years. After that first workout, you can't even hardly walk.
No.
And so that's kind of that pain, but we also know that it's going to give us new growth and new muscles, and you know, it's pruning. You know, pruning is hard. So that's the worst part, because I do not like that. I don't like, you know, I have to do it at City Hall and different places, trying to figure out, you know, why. I'm trying to figure out why doesn't? Why can't I say this sentence? That's the hardest part, is saying complete sentences. Yeah, why don't people want to do business in Perry, for example? Is it something internal, and trying to dig in and having to get in those uncomfortable conversations?
You made it evident you had somebody proofreading your book.
I did. That's very true. I actually had a ghostwriter help me with it all, because I couldn't sit there in front of a computer and just type all this way. Although I'm working on my epilogue, and I'm working on doing it all on my own, and I would love to see Perry in my epilogue.
Fantastic, yes.
So you guys we better get some stuff. We better get it going, because I want to get that epilogue
We've got a lot of things
done.
to do.
Yeah. Is that good?
That was good. I have more. If you want some more, I have some more.
I want to ask you some questions.
Oh my, okay.
Now, these are the easy questions. Now, this is, so oftentimes in a lot of communities I work in, so you talk about some of the hard parts and things, so sometimes with the communities I work in, there's serious friction between maybe the city and the chamber, or maybe Main Street and the chamber, and there's a lot of, you know, competition.
Yes.
Who's gonna get that? And sometimes it's, you know, we've talked about this before.
We have, yes.
You know, sometimes it's like battling over who's gonna get the advertising with the local company, or who's gonna get the credit for the event or whatever. I felt like, and maybe this is fairly recent, I don't know, maybe tell me, but I felt like there's not so much competition between the chamber and East Main Street, for example.
Okay. No, Kayla and I are very fortunate that we work really great together. We have made it a common goal, just to better Perry.
Yeah.
That is really, between the Chamber
That's
and
huge.
Main Street, that's really the ultimate goal, is to have things for our community to do, to grow our community, and to bring things for Perry.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we work really great together. We've been very fortunate for that. We have a great relationship with our city. Our new city manager, Larry Pinnell,
he's
is
great.
fantastic, as well as Gordon. He has
Yeah.
been very supportive, in our city
Yeah.
council. So I feel that we're very fortunate in a smaller community that we do work so well together. I think that there are some opinions that there is some competition between the two, but when you really get involved and become part of the Chamber and Main Street, you see that we work really well together, and our common goal is really just things for Perry.
Right, right, and of course, I'd love to even help, facilitate
Yes.
even more, because I know that there's, even since I've been here, there's been a lot of change in the
There has.
Perry Main Street board. So I know
Yes.
it's a little bit tough to try to determine how you're jumping in there and working together, but I think we're going to see even more partnership,
I think so too.
because there's certain things that maybe some skills that Main Street has in terms, let's say, with an event, that maybe the Chamber can help bring in some of their people, and Main Street can help
Yeah,
bring
absolutely.
in some of their people.
Kayla and I have always said that between the Chamber and Main Street, we both have strengths.
Yeah.
And it takes both of our organizations to work together so that we can do these types of activities and things for Perry. And that's the best thing, is that if there's things that I need help with, I can always count on Kayla, and same with the Chamber. She can call us, and we do like to help in any way that we can.
Right.
Because we want to work together and show that partnership, not just for us and for our board and organizations, but for the community to see that we do work together, and that it has really just been other people and not us that have had that idea.
And I think it sends a message to, even if when we're talking about business recruitment, or even, and this kind of leads into my next question maybe, but even business retention, with keeping the corporate we have and the business we have, if they know that our community is united. And I love even this idea of when some promotions are going out, or maybe we're going to work on a new downtown parking plan or something,
Yes.
because we have all these great lofts and we have restaurants and we have all these things, and parking actually does become an issue. That maybe the letterhead from the letters has the Chamber's logo on it, the city's logo, and the Main Street's logo. Like,
Yes.
we are united. We all
Yes.
agree.
I think it's very important to show the partnership between all of us. We are separate entities, but we work really well together, and I think that's key for the community to see that we are working alongside each other, and that we want the best thing for Perry.
None of the three of you, we're just using those three for an example right now, we don't want to see any one of them fail.
No, not at all.
I mean, that does not
No.
help. So
No,
obviously,
we
working
all three,
together.
we do. We work together, and we all have strengths and weaknesses, and I think
Yeah.
that's where we're comfortable enough to go to the city or go to Main Street and seek out whatever we're needing. And I think that the relationship that we have built, we have a pretty strong foundation, and we can go to each other and ask for things that we need, and we're willing to help.
Yeah.
And so we work alongside each other, and separate but together.
Yeah, right. So I was talking a little bit about like business recruitment. I know sometimes a lot of times when we're talking about how do we get our community to grow and what better, people say more jobs. But there's build up the highway and all these different
Yes.
things. But I think that sometimes there's kind of a quality of life concern.
Yes.
For example, we know that a lot of people, I don't hide things really. I mean, if it's
Right.
there, it's there. We're not making these things up. A lot of people that work at Ditch Witch commute.
Yes.
And it's a majority. If we want
Yes,
to say it,
we're
50%.
aware,
If
yes.
we're right, okay. And the part of the reason why they commute is, from a lot of the ones we've talked to and trying to understand, is because of maybe housing options, but ultimately I think a lot of us do is quality of life issues, meaning there is nothing to do in town after 5 o'clock, or very
Yes,
very little.
Very little.
So how important? So that's kind of what I'm here to help do. I hope. help get some restaurants, help
Yeah.
get some cool lofts, help give some things, to give some options to at least retain a little bit of those, you know? So how important do you think that is in your job as a chamber, this whole quality of life issue and maybe the downtown revitalization
Yeah,
effort?
I think it is very important. With the chamber, you know, we promote business and we network businesses with other businesses, and that's key. And you know, we do focus on downtown as well as outside of Perry because it takes all of it for
Right.
Perry to be great, and we want to see that. And so I think that working together and seeing our downtown thrive gives more things for people to do, and people love Perry. They love the small town,
Yeah.
they love the feel of Perry, but it's we know that there is nothing to do for people, and so I think if we can focus on it and really get people involved.
Right.
You know, a lot of people see that they want something to do, but they do not get involved with our organizations, and that's key to really help and get involved and let us know what people are wanting, you know, because we're working very hard at getting that together and really encouraging people to be involved and help make Perry grow and become a better place for us and our children.
So how can people get involved with the Chamber of Commerce?
So our chamber, we have an ambassadors program, and our ambassadors program is the face of the chamber. So we allow people to come in. We meet the first Tuesday of every month at 11:30, and it is just a time for business owners or businesses to network with other businesses and get familiar. And a lot of times new businesses come on, and it's a way to promote their business or what they do and get familiar with other business leaders in Perry. And so they can jump on our ambassadors, and we also, our ambassadors help with all of our events. So we do the Cherokee Strip Celebration and the Perry Spring Fest. And so if they're on the ambassadors program, they volunteer to help with those events.
So we talked a little bit last week, even with Crystal,
Yes.
with the city, and sometimes it's really easy for people to sit back
Yes.
and get on. I'll do this because you're getting on your social media and you're getting on Facebook
Yes.
to complain about, you know, the last event or whatever. You know what? Get involved.
Yes,
Get
absolutely.
involved, you know.
That is a very big frustration that Kayla and I both see, is that we do a lot of work and we see the needs in Perry and we see the great things of Perry, but we're in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we do have people that have a lot of opinions, but a lot of them, they're very hesitant to become involved.
Right.
And so I really encourage people to get involved with both of our organizations and become a voice and let us know what they're wanting.
And not every involvement, folks, requires, you know, just hours and hours and hours of
No.
your time. There's
That's
certain
right.
things that you can do. Maybe there's one event, maybe you love the 16th celebration,
Yes.
for example, and
Yes.
you just love it and you don't want it to go away and you'd love to see it get better, then get involved. That's the one, maybe the one event a year you can help in. I'm just using that as an example,
Yes.
but there are opportunities. You know, there's this idea, and it's and it's probably even a smaller percentage, the 80-20 rule.
Right.
You know, 20% of the people are doing 80% of the work.
Yes.
And you know, for successful communities, that percentage gets a little more even. You know, let's work on that.
Yes.
Here in Perry.
We do.
So I gave you a way for you to get involved. Now
Yes.
let me get another chamber plug from you.
Okay.
I just saw that Chamber was all over the front page of the newspaper.
Yes,
Some great
some great
articles and good
articles.
stories on you. And you guys kind of listed some of your 2018 goals. In case you missed the paper, can you share some of those? And if
Yeah.
maybe just expand just a little bit. We're starting to
Sure.
run out of time. But
Yeah, we had our board retreat, and so we really focused on 2018 goals. And one of the things that we really want for our members is to give them a return on their investment.
Yeah.
And being a small community, there's not a lot of return on investment for memberships just because we don't have we can't give back much. And so our goal was really just to reach out to these members and see what they're needing from the chamber or what they're wanting to see or what they're needing help with specific to their businesses. And so we really want to grow our membership as well as give our current members a return on their investment and help them in any way possible, promoting their business, putting them out in the newsletter, and just really helping their businesses grow as well.
I think that's great.
Yes.
That's right. You guys are doing a great job.
Thank you so much.
And I'm hearing good things, and I really am. And you know, if I wasn't hearing anything, I wouldn't say anything.
Okay.
So unlike maybe you, I
would
actually have
probably be
a
a little bit more vocal.
compliment.
Yes.
Okay, so we're about to wrap it up. It's time for my 3 questions.
Okay, I'm ready.
So the first one's really easy. Okay, and here's the deal: if you get the 3 questions right, you get
I get to keep this
you
mug.
get to keep this mug, Perry Live. Plus, you've already got lipstick on it, so I don't know what you know. You get it anyway. Okay, 3 questions.
Okay.
Your name,
My name.
Noel.
Yes.
Is that
The
Christmas?
first Noel you've ever met?
Well, are you the first Noel in your family?
I am the first Noel in my family. I'm getting, you're going, where did I get my name from?
Yeah.
So I was born on the 23rd of December.
Okay.
And which is Christmas time. I get my name said correctly from about August to January, mid-January
Does
even.
anybody ever sing your name?
Yes,
Okay.
quite frequently.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
Christmas time, you could.
Well,
you
maybe
could,
I will.
Yes.
All right.
Christmas time, everybody calls me Noelle. Normally it's Noel or Nicole or Nancy. I've also got Phyllis. It just depends. It's not a
that
great
makes
phone
sense.
name.
Yeah.
Yes. People cannot understand it very often. But growing up, I hated it because nobody could ever say it correctly. But as I've grown into an adult, it's unique and it's very fitting because there's not very many Noels.
You're right. Okay, Phyllis, next question. You you have a black Charger.
I do.
When I first came here and was working here, I had a black Charger. Now, I had a faster black Charger.
No, I don't think so.
I bet it was. But, so if you drive a fast car, what's your driving record? Have you gotten any trouble with that car? Have you ever get any speeding tickets or anything with them?
No, not
No?
at all. I have a spectacular driving record.
You haven't crashed into anything or any tickets?
I may have rolled into a house or hit a parked car.
Which probably doesn't have
But-
anything to do with the Charger.
It probably has nothing to do with the Charger, but we'll blame it on that.
Okay, it's a big car.
It is a big car.
So-
Sometimes it's hard to see out of the window, and driver error may be a small portion of that.
All right, and final question. You're doing pretty good. The mug looks like it's close to being yours.
All right.
Can you tell us a talent that you have that probably nobody or very few people know about?
Oh, yes, I do have a hidden talent. My talent is that I can say the ABCs backwards.
I can't wait to hear.
Oh, I have to do it too?
Well, you can't name the talent.
Okay. ZYX, WVUT, SRQP, ONMLKJIHG, FEDCBA.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And you can do it in like 7 seconds. We need to figure out how.
Yes.
We'll do the time lapse. Try to
So
figure out how
oddly
long.
enough, I remember the Alphabet cereal commercial, and they switched it and said it backwards, and
Yeah.
it stuck with me, and I can say it.
And somehow you did the Elemento, you did it, you did the,
LMNOPQR, yeah.
but you still did that in like a little, anyway, you know what I'm saying?
Talent.
That is talent.
Talent.
That's a, I would not have
Not
guessed
everybody can do that.
that. That's right. Well, I just want to thank you. You are the
You're
first
welcome.
Noel for me to have
Yes.
on my show.
It's great.
I had to throw that out there.
Probably the only.
Probably. Probably. So let me shake your hand and thank you seriously. We had a lot of
Very
fun. We knew we were
welcome.
going to have some
Yes.
fun today.
Yes, it was fun.
And thank you for tuning in to Perry Live with Ron Drake. I really do encourage you to get involved with the Chamber
Yes.
and get involved with Main Street. And you know what? Or just get involved. The Main Street and
Yes.
Chamber are probably two of the best places that you could probably even be your first resource. Pop in, say, hey, I want to get involved, and you guys could probably help say, hey, maybe you need to go to the Lions
Yes, we
Club or
could.
whatever. You know, you guys know you're a good first
Or Rotary.
contact. Or Rotary. Yes, I've been to Rotary a few times. So thanks for tuning in to Perry Live. Tune in next week at 2 o'clock. We'll have another guest host for you, and we'll continue to just share the exciting stories of what's happening here in downtown Perry. Have a great day.